So like when I speak, like I'm always thinking of a particular, what is the idea that I want to leave tonight, right? Like, is it a point of inspiration? Is it a point of reflection? Is it a point of perseverance? Is it, what am I trying to convey, right? And I think that's a really important thing, when in terms of the way that I was taught how to teach, right? Which was like, think about the idea that you want to convey, figure out the Torah that you want to get you there, right? So whatever your idea is, you have to do research to right? Like you're speaking, you're saying your thing, like, you have preachers and emails and different types of people. You know, it's like, how do you know you're speaking properly? I mean, I could go off on my own tangent and come up with a bunch of ideas, but how do I know that's not? Because the whole point of this is to continue on, generation after generation, right? Like I don't want, it's not about following me, right? Or I'm the leader, I'm going to see, I mean, that's not reality, and we've seen that. We've seen that even in the Black African American community, right? There's been a lot of, great, personalities and great leaders that have like, been in our community and they've created like these movements and people have been associated with them. And then as soon as they die, that's it, right? Like that's it. Like, they had a movement, they had a bunch of people, or maybe they were doing some good things, or the CIA or the CIA or FBI gets involved. You know what I mean? These types of things, right? So there's not the mindset of, you know, I'm the super leader and follow me and I know the way and that type of thing and blah blah blah. Because you're leading people to destruction and you don't want to answer for that, right? You don't want to like, your personal judgment. You don't want to stand up and show that like, oh, I misled people because I wanted to feel good about myself, so I create, these people, the idea is to continue on tradition, right? The reason why we're back in Eretz Israel. Anyways, Wi-Fi. Anyways, but points like this. That's the point, right? So there's a tradition in everything. I'm just learning. I just had a class after an hour before this. I'm here at the physically in the Shiva, and we were learning Rambam, the laws of kings and war and these types of things. It was like, wow, this is a big conversation, no? But they're talking about when Mashiach comes, what are the types of things he's going to do? How is he going to deal with the Jewish people? How is he going to reestablish, what lineage everyone comes from and the tribes? And he says, this is like an interesting idea. Like, there's a lot of Jews. So, anyways, the point is just saying that you want to be in a situation where you're passing in a tradition, right? And ultimately, when we really honest with ourselves, it's a tradition on how to perceive reality. People want to make it religious or whatever, this type of thing, but I mean that's their thing, right? The true essence is that this is a perception of reality, and then you're engaging in this reality, right? You're engaging in this reality, right? And so those are the two things. So we have a perception of reality, and the other nations have a different perception of reality. That's it. That's it. The purpose of life for us, how we function in life, our goals and aspirations are completely different things. Now, if you use like English language and other languages, you can say like, oh yeah, we all want justice and morality and all these, but that does not mean that we agree on the same things. because the other nations' understanding of morality and justice is from our perspective is most of it is freaky. That we do not want to participate in, and we only tolerate it because of subjugation, right? Right. So that's where we're at, right? We're in that place of really just carving out like this perception of reality right now. Like the whole world is just busy doing whatever we're doing. We're in these days, and we're in a complete place of tshuva, right? We are trying to return to the essence. We're trying to return to the essence of who we are. We're trying to return to the essence of who we are as a people. We're trying to return to the essence of the land itself, right? So the Friday night class that I gave was, a lot of people were there. And what I spoke about was this idea of Yomin, right? Which is this idea of this system of Ramphal, what the Ramphal teaches, because we gotta go over the system, not the facts, right? We want to have a congruent system in our head that we can inject into our reality every day and communicate it either to people who the vessel for, right? And so the Ramchal says that, obviously, Hashem is beyond our logic, and that Hashem has his Ratzon, and one of his Ratzon is will. Ratzon means will. And that Ratzon, one of them expressed in this idea of the Ein Sof, which, basically is the endless world, right? And that's how we, understand it. In that endless world, there's a lot of different configurations of expressions of life, right? And there was a certain amount of those lights that were kind of put into a different reality that we refer to as sin, just kind of a subjugation, right? A subjugation to of a particular set of lights that create the reality that we live in. And so this idea that we live is an expression of life, right? Everything around us, even the day itself. So the Yomim, right? We understand and we learn it from the concept of Igul, right? Which means circle, right? So there's a circular system that we call a calendar in our language that basically shows us the distribution of God's light, throughout the year. You see those Hershey Kiss, supply lines, and they got like, they have a machine and it drops like some chocolate, and another one goes, and another chocolate goes, and another one goes, another chocolate goes. So it's this distribution of every day of this concept of light that we refer to as day. And this distribution of this particular parcel lasts for a particular amount of time. And this particular amount of time that it lasts for, right? This particular amount of time that it lasts for, um, this particular amount of time that it lasts for is from sundown to sundown. But it's an expression of light. And every single human being on planet Earth is experiencing this light in their particular, as in response to their particular set of lights that are within them, right? And the people are like, this is so amazing because you're basically showing like how we're all divine among exactly. And not just stuff, all of creation, right? And so this idea of days, once we accept that every day that we experience is an expression of light, that's a reflection of our particular light. And so the way I experience it today, the way Otina experiences it today, is different because we're different people and we're in different places in the world and we're at different stages in life and we're doing different, but nevertheless, it's still the same light, right? And so that being clear on that allows us to dive into something even deeper, right? Which is what? This concept of this concept of depression, of sadness, of despair, right? Because we look at life and we say, this happened and this happened and this happened and I'm depressed. This happened and this happened and this happened, I feel like giving up. But that feeling of giving up and that feeling of non-success and that feeling of failure, and that feeling of disappointment is only an expression of life. How many people have been losing their life and they thought they were winning? They thought they were. Your boy Kanye came out and says, I could say anti-Semitic stuff and Adidas won't drop me. He thought he was winning in that moment. He thought he had a moment of clarity. And I guarantee you, Kanye West would not have made that statement in retrospect, right? He brought so much destruction to his family, to his children, to his family's name. What? You're on Drink Champs, bro? Where's Drink Champs at now? Where they at? I haven't even seen no one talk about it. But the point is saying in that moment, he was feeling himself. And so he was experiencing a parsuf that gave the expression, because it's the only reflection of his life. It gives a reflection that made him perceive that he can just say whatever he wants and do whatever he wants. And he's good, and he's good. He's Kanye West. In the same way, you may see him, maybe a couple months later, and that parsuf was like, I think Kanye had one of the greatest lines ever. He's like, hey, he said, I lost $1 billion, but I'm all right. Or he said, I'm still alive, or something like this. This is classic. I got love for Ye, bro. Like, I mean, like, his stuff he's saying, it hurts me, you know what I mean? But it's just, I can't turn my love off because, he's on the dark side right now. I mean, I'm not trying to chill. But I'm just saying, like, I got love for Ye. Anyways, the point is just saying like this. We can have days that wake up and we say that we're broke. I have nothing. Everything's going wrong. We can wake up and have that experience. That is an expression of light. And that's an expression of light that Hashem wanted me to experience in this particular way based off of who I am. Right? That's it. It's that simple. When we feel that we're on top, it's an expression of light. When we feel that everything's just okay, that's a light. When we feel everything is terrible, that is a light. No one would commit a sin. No one would be in despair if they had complete revelation of Hashem. Come on. Who would ever commit a sin? You have complete clarity of Hashem. You have complete revelation of Hashem. That moment on Yom Kippur and Yom Kippur davening of Ne'ilah, when you're there and this is the end of it, this is the whole thing, the amalgamation of all these 10 days and all this light comes into this ultimate moment before Shkia. Right? This supernatural moment before Shkia of Ne'ilah and Yom Kippur davening, and everything is totally connected. You feel totally connected. It's just an unbelievable moment, right? And you're completely purified of your sins. What an amazing thing, right? That's an expression of a person, right? That's an expression of a particular set of lights that are only given on that particular day. And so these days that we're in right now, the parsufim of these days, we can just continue to climb so high. We should spend as much time as doing reading as much Tehillim as possible, as much prayer as possible, extra prayers, extra voda, just whatever you need to do to put you in the place where you're thinking about Hashem. You're thinking about the person that you can become and the person you're destined to become, and you're in that place, right? So that was the nighttime thing, right? And they were done because they had a whole thing set up. After I finished speaking, it was over. Game over. Game over. Because I put the responsibility back on us. I'm experiencing God's light. King, crowning the king, no? That's the whole idea, right? Making Hashem king. What does that mean? We talked about it already, but what does it mean? It means that if I wake up and I feel that everything's going wrong, that is an expression of light from the heavens that I'm supposed to experience right now, because the way I respond to it is a correction of the lights that are inside of me. If I wake up and I feel that I'm richest, I'm the biggest, I'm the biggest, I'm the best, and I'm all these things, how do I put Hashem on top of that? How do I understand that whatever success I think I've achieved or whatever level I think I've achieved, that people come before me that have done infinite amount more, right? Right? That's where we're at. And so that system of thought comes down to the understanding of the Hebrew calendar, is that we have a system of distribution of light. And these lights determine our days. There is the day. The light is the day. Right? It says it, first day of creation. It says it right there. Vayhi of the earth. This is the first day of this, they can check the whole thing. Night, darkness, the whole thing. Boom, one day. He said light. There was no sun and moon, bro. There's no sun and moon. There's no sun and moon. Okay, so what is he talking about? He's talking about Parsufim. He's talking about light. That's creation. It's no sun and moon. So what we do? Oh, the organelles. Okay, that's one level. Very nice. Organelles, very nice. Concealed light. Okay, what is concealed light? Parsufim. And that Parsuf comes and creates Yom, which is day. It's right there. It's right in front of us. It's right in front of us. Every day is expression of light. I didn't make it up. What did you say? Mordecai, where are you getting this from? Maybe you don't understand Ramchal. Maybe you don't understand Ramchal. Okay, so read the Derisa, read the Torah itself. The Torah itself says, day one, Hashem, the world was created in darkness. Right? In darkness, all across, and then Hashem created light. And that was the process of the first day. That's it. What are you depressed about? What are you depressed about? Oh, you're not winning. You're supposed to perceive that you're not winning. That's what the light. That's what this concealment of Hashem's light is. Because Hashem has it. Because the whole thing. We have to go through the body consciousness, the desire to see for oneself. We have to go through that process, right? We have to go through that process and be able to connect. To connect. So we have to have resistance. Right? We have to earn it. We have to go through this bushing. Talks about it. We have to earn the light. This is the purpose of creation. Right? He's going into the personality of this thing, but Ron Paul is dealing with the system. It's interesting, right? So the personality of the system is that we have to earn the light to reconnect. Right? And so this concept, this idea of understanding that this is what we're dealing with right now. This is the concept. This is the true reality. All the secret societies and these people in the world, they know aspects of what we're talking about. And that's how they know how to create systems and societies and how to inspire human beings to go this way versus that way, because they understand exactly what I'm saying to you. I've heard it in person. You know what I'm saying? So, um, so that's what we're doing. So that was nighttime. So daytime, nighttime. So interesting. When I was at this meal, I met this lady who just came to Rosh Hashanah for the holidays. She's like interesting person, a family that's really long. It's a whole crazy thing. It really comes from a very supernatural rabbinical lineage in New York. This whole thing, blah blah. She's got divorced, blah blah. Blah. You just randomly you meet people, connect, you talk, right? Anyways, she ended up sitting next to me, whatever, blah, blah, we talked about, blah, it's nothing like that. But the point is saying, the point is I invited her to this date because I'm also speaking now, right? And she came to the shul that I wanted to come to, the lady comes to. Okay, I'm not kidding. I'm like inside the shul, like praying. I heard this commotion, and I was like, "What's going on?" So I walked in, look, this lady's laid out. Who's the lady I invited there? The lady I met the night before, right? So she faints. So the paramedics come. This is like a whole thing, bro. This is like a crazy thing, right? So I'm just like dealing with that, right? And so I'm like, you still have strength? You want to go to this meal? She's like, yeah, absolutely. There's after paramedics. So we ended up going, whatever. So I spoke there to another group, and I utilized the system of the four levels of creation, right? The four levels of creation, which is this idea of, we know that we start with the mineral kingdom at the bottom, the plant kingdom, above that, above the plant kingdom is the animal kingdom, above that is humans, right? And we coalesce that using the teachings of Rav Ashlag to the idea of the four levels of human desire as they express themselves. And we use the pursuits that we have, right? He says in the mineral level, there's human beings that just basically want to work, eat, and sleep, right? That's their thing. They don't really want to be concerned with too much. They just want that life. And that would be the mineral level. The level above that is the plant level, which is the dynamic of, people who want luxury, they want to make money, they want to be successful, right? That's their level. There's a level above that, which is the animal kingdom, which people who want power, right? They want to, be kings, they want to be politicians, they want to be CEOs, they want to be, these types of things, right? They want power. They're concerned with just money. They want to use the perception, right? And then you have people above that that are completely above all those things and not disconnected and completely connected, right? And so those people, and I said it. So I said, I use my life. I said, hey, I grew up, my parents were very, economically successful people compared to the standards of, America. And so I grew up around a lot of people who are really focused on the plant kingdom level, right? Which is like success and making a lot of money. Like, you have no idea. You have no idea the ambition level of, coming out of high school. Forget about now. People look at me now. It's like, this is the ultimate level. But you see me, I'm working with the temperament. I'm working with the energy of the Shekhinah. That's where my conversations are. I started a company. I've raised millions of dollars before I was even old enough to go to clubs. I'm saying I started internet. This is like different level stuff, and God took that desire and through, early on in life. It's not later. I didn't get into this later. I got into this early. I got into this like 21, 22. 23, 22, you know what I'm saying? Like that. That's when I started it. That's when I was with Yehuda. That's when I was with Yehuda when I was like 22, 23. I was with the Rob. That's what I was with. Like 2 years, right out of moving out of my parents' house and working and being in the city. Like a few years after that, boom, I connected this thing. That was it. And now I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like I went through this and then I was on it. So what is my point for saying this? My point is saying that when I talk about the perception of the plant kingdom, that's a real thing. I live that. Elon Musk and Ye, they didn't make it. I keep saying here, they're only at the plant level. They're only at the plant level. They could talk about economics and theories and systems. I left that behind. I can create my own. I don't need to understand the system. I can create my own. Elon and Yang, they didn't make it this far. I'm sorry, they don't have movies. They're not putting me on TV. They're not saying like, "Hey, this is the pinnacle." Why? Because I'm in Vegas. I'm in the human kingdom. I'm completely connecting myself with Shem and purifying myself. This is a TV show. Yeah, there's no TV shows about this. You know what I'm saying? They want us to live on a plant level. They want us to be like, "Hey, man, you gotta get rich. You gotta get that money, man. You gotta buy more stuff." How much stuff did you buy this month? Nah, man, you ain't living. You ain't living. Bro, I was on this thing and this guy thought he was making fun of me too. I don't know about these like European Israeli shoes. I don't know. They're dope. They're very dope. I like them. And it would be very dope in America. But I don't know the vibe of America right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, because like for me, like I just relax. I'm in the middle of a war. Like I'm just like, hey, we're just chilling. You know what I mean? So I need loafer, sneaker type vibes. So that's like this, the whole story. and so that's where I was. That's where I was at. So my man was like, man, we. You said, man, you got he said like $50 sneakers on it, just making fun of me, right? And I said to him, I said, bro, why do you think it's a flex to spend a lot of money on tennis shoes? Like, you don't think that's like kind of crazy that like someone else has convinced me that I should spend $1,000 on a pair of tennis shoes, or $300 or whatever it is. It only costs them like the package the whole deal only costs them $5. So I'm just saying, like, you're making fun of me because I didn't go out and spend my money. Think about that. Think about that. People make fun for not going out and spending your money buying things. People make fun of you for not having the latest thing. Think about that. That's crazy consumer indoctrination. That's crazy consumer indoctrination, bro. Like, oh yeah, you didn't buy the newest thing. Yeah, man. It's This is crazy. Yeah, you didn't keep your wait. You didn't save your money. You didn't save your money. You saving your money, man? You stupid, man. You saving your money? Oh my god! Like, what's wrong with you? You better go out there and spend your money, man. That's how you're trendy. So I'm just saying. So this is the plant level, right? This is the plant level, and so we glorify the people in society because that now the people who are in power we accept as we see ourselves as common people, right? So we see, oh, those are the elites. Those are the Dare families and the DuPonts and the Roths and the this thing and that thing and this and the Qatar family and these are the elites, right? That's still only the animal level. You think you're winning because you're a Saudi family and you come and rent Lamborghinis and go and buy a bunch of drinks at a bar and drugs with women and have intimacy with them? That's winning. That's power, right? You declare war and do some covert thing, and manipulate or fight each other, and you make a bunch of money out of it because buying really that's you. Like your level is getting people to fight each other, and you profit from it. That's your level. Come on now, bro. Come on now. Your level is that you want to create mischief amongst people, and you want to profit from it, so you could have a bigger space to live in what someone else deems as luxury, someone else's vision of reality. You can live that. I mean, this is insane stuff. I'm telling you. I'm saying. I'm just looking at it because I was indoctrinated with these stuff. Everyone around me was, right. But it's just like it's literally a system that convinces us to spend all our money and to acquire things, and from there we determine who we are as people. This is crazy. I don't know, man. I'm trying to look around and think like, have I lost it? Or is everyone just like, or fools just out of touch, man? All right, so that's the point. So why did I mention that? Because the lady that came there, was like a successful lady, a wealthy lady, and she was thinking about moving to Israel, this, type of thing. So I wanted her to be clear, like all that stuff you think you're coming from, like, bro, that don't mean nothing. Just because they created a system and they glorified it, it don't mean nothing. That Lamborghini don't mean nothing. That mansion means nothing. What do you need a mansion for? Like you want to feel kingly? You know what I'm saying? But you want to feel kingly? I'm a king, bro. Come on, man. You don't own it, bro. Like, what do you mean? You pay taxes on it. They come take it. Hey, very nice. I mean, if it makes you feel comfortable, great. I mean, I know, but I know the fulfillment of being connected to a channel, knowing that the parsufing that are coming down every single day, my place, and I may go do things with So, anyways, so this is the idea. This is what we're working on, right? We're working with these ideas because it's what perception of reality you want or not. Because the more you go, you have to go. At the end of the day, I have a lot of annoyance with my fellow Jewish brothers and sisters. You know, it's a challenge. You know, it's a challenge. Probably but the point is saying there's a certain aspect of kedusha that comes along with being part of the collective Jewish community, especially during these times. I'm not saying right now is the time, but it's starting to think about and contemplating like, hey, there's no reason in Rosh Hashanah that I'm not in a community hearing the Shofar, right? And having meals and hearing and seeing that system, right? And just no way. And people talk about, oh, you know, this is different. Okay, what do you want, bro? You want to be great. I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's like it's no. It's like people going. People see. They see. They get to know. It's human nature. But the point is just saying that there's only so far we can go as individuals, and so far we can go as individual things, right? And it's good. But then there's that next level. Like I was at the Kabbalah Center, right? It was great. That was an unbelievable thing, right? I still speak highly about it. It was like, yeah, 20 years later, so I don't know, 2000, it's like, bro, 2003, bro, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? 2003, that's not there. So I'm just saying, like, I still talk about it, right? And I talk about those experiences in that time. But the point that I'm saying is that the point that I'm saying is saying that I can only go so far with the Kabbalah, and that's what the Rav. That's what the Rav. Yehuda and Mom and Michal and all these Hebra and all these people. I could only go so far there spiritually. I had to eventually leave and go on my own Abraham journey, right? And that's and everybody is ready to make that move, right? But I at least have to be honest with you and say that's what I did, right? Because like I said, like my goal is not to have followers. You know, it's like I mean, it's pretty chill. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not a chill. Like I did this thing out in Haifa, um, which is I guess like towards the north. Yeah, it's northern Israel compared to where I'm at. But the point is, I was out there and it's just, oh my God, bro, you have no idea how many stories that people talk about their life and this and that. But it was a great experience. It was a life changing experience. And I'm going to start doing holidays from this point on and getting the prayers and the whole thing, right? So, anyway, so the point is just saying that that's not my thing, right? It's too top heavy, right? Like people don't understand the mechanism of infrastructure, organization, or business. Now is we're in the era of scaling down infrastructure, right? Like a person can have a million followers through social media. That's much different than have thousands of followers in life. You know what I'm saying? Those are two different worlds, right? And so when I look at mass getting information out to the masses, I see it more from an educational standpoint and an institutional standpoint. That's less than it being a personality thing. Like, hey, I'm this charismatic personality. You want to be down with me because you're going to be blessed. I don't want to do that. That's corny. You know what I'm saying? That's like, I, that's not, it's not American. It's not, it's not we're about innovating towards this, right? And so Anyway, go back. I don't know. Anyway, where was I? But the point is saying so that dynamic is the real thing because it's like ultimately talking about building families, right? And like building families and strengthening families and expanding families. And so the father of the house has to be a rabbi. You know what I'm saying? Like he has to be versed in halakha, he has to be well versed in the Mishnah, he has to be well versed obviously in the Chumash, the Tanakh, all these types of things, right? Because the family has to study, the family has to prepare, all these types of things, right? So that's what makes a community strong. That's what makes people strong, right? And so my approach is not necessarily to have a lot of followers, but it is to inspire millions of people to have the confidence to go on their journey. You know what I'm saying? And it may not be, but I mean, I don't know, but I'm saying people that I'm going to probably be, probably when those time with me are going to be, that way. Right? That's reach to like one thing, like, oh, have followers, and that's so corny, but like, but and not only that, so like, people that like look for the quality of the personality type, and that's the weird cookie so at the end of one AI, one technology, it's a whole new way of people communicating and interacting and engaging in communities. And so, and I don't know, it's a great thing. It's a great thing. It's an exciting adventure, and I'm appreciative for it. But that's all it is. And it should be seen more than right? Because there's too many people to reach to touch. But his response, it's kind of like just a prophecy of this crazy time, endless potential. So I'm having this conversation. So any thoughts and response to anything we spoke about?
Shalom, Baruch Hashem. Yeah, I tell you what, there's something that you mentioned, about, and I love the way you said it, about the husband being the rabbi of the house, the master teacher of the house. And this is something that me and my family, what we looked at, and you know, um, we're reading through the Path of the Just, and the first section it talks about understanding your purpose and directing your energy towards that. And we were looking at that now, and my goal is to become a better priest and a better rabbi for my house and helping others to do the same, especially within our communities, because our communities really need that aspect because we have such a high rate of fatherless households. And it's our goal and our vision to see that be turned upside down. Where we went from 80% of homes with fathers in it to now I think it's somewhere around about 20 to 30% within our communities. I'm talking about marriage, husband, wife, children. And if you don't have that, then you really that's not that's you just can't make it. But that idea of being a rabbi for your house, that you said it brings about a higher level of community that everyone is holding the same way. And I think that that's precious, and I believe that's that's something that we're making a goal for ourselves as a family, and as a place to for Hashem to be able to pour more instructions and more guidance and more power into our lives to be bigger vessels to be able to accomplish that goal. So that
Yeah, one of the things, um, to think about is this idea of like how to deal with uh, emotion, right? Like how to deal with. I think that's one of the biggest things. Like in terms of immediate issues, um, there's that should be taught, right? Because like I think it was like Charleston White maybe saying this. There's like this random personality that's on the internet a lot, whatever. I'm not sure exactly what he does, but I don't know. But he talks like a lot. The point is saying, where is the teachings for conflict resolution in local communities? Because it seems like that would be the biggest game changer and the catalyst to building upon that. And if you continue with marriage, this whole thing, it becomes religious, and it becomes that. And I think that becomes difficult to engage those concepts because, again, there's a system that's designed to fight it, right? Hence, it's not there. So to go, you know, around that, I think there's something to be said about like systems of teaching kids in elementary school, early elementary school, um, about conflict resolution. And I think the conflict resolution, I mean, would probably be the biggest nemesis to the police department and all the different, entities that are funded, right? Because you have this guy in New York, and he's saying like, hey, he wants more counselors instead of police officers. We're like empathetic type things, but there are, I don't know. Anyways, so, Ochino, you got any thoughts?
Yeah, Baruch Hashem, to the point um, that's being spoken on now, it reminds me of, the obligations a father has towards his son, to redeem him, reach Malah, teach him Torah, to marry him off, teach him a trade and teach him how to swim. And it's like those aspects, even you want to speak of it from the black, community, of course, we can see the limitations and the things that we have to struggle with, systemically in this country. Yeah, it could work for sure. It would change the trajectory of our people. But if you look at it for totality, which is the purpose of B'nai Israel, to be a light to the nations, to show the nations that you are in darkness, and this is the light of Hashem, of our Creator, to bring you out of that place, to bring you to a place of elevation. If you think about those things, a Bris Malah, or redeeming yourself for one, then a Bris Malah, you're bringing them to the covenant of Hashem. You teach them Torah, you're teaching them about the laws of Hashem, the considerations of our Maker. If you when you marry him off, wow, right? Like just remove all of the klipot right there. Focus all your energy in the place that it's supposed to be. And, you keep going to teach them a trade, obviously, and then teach them how to swim. Um, you can look at that in different ways, how to navigate the world. But these things, by the man having this knowledge, the father of the household of Av, right? Now his household can be built upon principles that need to be built upon that actually allow success. And that spreads to, I was thinking about, how grateful I am. At one point I was like, man, talking to Hashem, like Hashem, why was I not born Jewish? Why was I not born like in a covenant, like that? But in reality, it's such a advantage for me because being on the outside, not coming in, you actually learn how to elevate and transform the negativity in a way. So we have such a powerful perspective coming in. to be able to, articulate to our brothers, our Jewish brothers, and to the nations of this is how we're supposed to be, right? Like the Torah, like when Hashem created Adam, it was no Jewish people yet. Of course, it was in thought, but it was Adam, and we're trying to get back to that place of Adam, to that place of the image of Hashem. Then it's the responsibility of the Jewish people, or the Jewish nation, the Israelites, however way you want to phrase it, to teach the nations how to get back to that place. All we wanted, you think about Esau, he sold his birthright. What I need the birthright for? What I need it for? I need that food. I need that right now. Well, that's the mentality that's close across the world. As Yaakov, we can teach, this is just a preparation place. Everything, this whole life right now is to get Torah and Mitzvot. So now when you go to that next world, death is actually a portal to that next world. It's the hallway. It takes us to where we're supposed to go to. Now we can actually live in our purpose in this life. And then we get to the next world. Yeah, obviously. So I was just thinking about that, bro. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, um, also, yeah, it's just you think the life that you have is yours, and actually giving you whatever. I'm in the studio right now recording stuff, so we have a class at the and it's like you're gonna say, hey, it's okay, I don't know the Wi-Fi. Anyways, so we'll continue on tomorrow, normal time. 35, I want to get back to fall and Kirky Chokmah. We're gonna continue on that grind, and we're gonna just Yom Kippur prep in the afternoon tomorrow. I stay really to Yom Kippur, and it's I don't know, man. I just everything's just like outer space right now for me. You know what I mean? Everything's just outer space, meaning that meaning that like you know you control the progression of success in that way. Once that is done, it's just creative. You know what I mean? And for me, building a family and all the business and everything out of that. And so, like, what's next? How far to go? And we're touching, we're touching the people, touching all people. We're going to share how it manifests. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, we're doing what we're doing right now, and we're just doing that at a community center for sure. We want to make it a bigger impact. We want to share more right. We want to, the pursuing that we have inside of us. We want to experience it to its highest level. Right? That's what we want to do. We want to experience it to its highest level, and we want to, complete the purpose of why you created us. Right? That's the level. It's not the $100 billion company. or the $1 trillion company now. That's less than anything, right? That's not what it is. It's you achieving your ultimate correction within yourself. Like I was saying, the ultimate goal is to be a light to other nations. Period. That's it. All of humanity. And people try to discriminate, try to like put me like in a black box, like, oh, well, you're the head of the Africans. Oh, bro, don't be trying to like, that's a situation that's wholly in an honor and it's to keep our way. But I'm here for everyone. I'm an American. I am here for all I can feed all the nations. You know what I'm saying? And the American part is still a real thing. I mean, my ancestors created the whole moral compass of the country. The only reason why it died of the nation of America is because of the morality that my ancestors, one generation, okay, that they come from, reshape that whole moral compass that has affected the entire world's outlook. Here, let's go. So from that perspective, don't come to me and talk to me and put me in boxes. No, I'm here for humanity. Last night, we had people over and listening to music, whatever. They're talking about somebody's bars. I was like, bro, who has more bars, than what I have right now? Like, I'm giving over Torah. I'm not rapping, but I'm giving over bars, like unbelievable bars, and I know that, right? Now, someone could say, "Oh, well, that sounds like ego." No, it's nothing to do with ego. What it has to do is clarification. I'm coming from holiness. They're not. That's all they're saying. Now, if that's heavy for someone to accept, I mean, what do you want me to do? I mean, I have to separate. I do that off Havdalah. Abdil bin Kodesh Lakol. Let's go separate. And I'm saying I'm giving bars. I'm giving bars. You're giving bars. You just heard Ocean giving bars. We're all doing. Those are bars. That's not bars. Doing drugs and chasing women and being in Guyver's not bars. I'm sorry. So I have to clarify. That's why I have to tell you what I am. The darkness society. Anyways, we'll continue tomorrow.